This is our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PC games in March 2016. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Alkyne's Gun. Being developed by Maximum Games, Alkyne's Gun is a third-person stealth game set during the Cold War and World War II. The game was actually originally to be the third entry into the Death to Spies series, but was eventually rebranded as Alkyne's Gun. The game will allow you go in guns blazing or be more stealthy. Each level in the game is also non-linear, featuring multiple ways to complete objectives. The plot itself includes historical events such as the assassination of US President John F. Kennedy. Alkyne's Gun releases March 1st. Number 9, BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend. Fighting games haven't always been the most prominent on PC, but that's quietly changing with the release of games like Street Fighter V and King of Fighters. That continues with the release of BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma. BlazBlue has recently been coming to the PC, but it's been all the older games, so it's nice to see the latest game in the series finally come to PC. BlazBlue is a 2D fighter by Arc System Works with a very good anime-looking art style. The gameplay has quite a bit of depth, and unlike many fighting games, it actually has a pretty interesting story mode. BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend releases on March 2nd. Number 8, Need for Speed. Originally released back in November on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Need for Speed is finally coming to the PC in March. The game was originally set to release on PC at the same time as consoles, but EA opted to delay the PC version in order to polish the port. Can't really complain about that. While Need for Speed wasn't critically acclaimed by any means, it was still a competent enough racer to play. I wouldn't say spend $60 on Need for Speed, but if you can find the game for a decent price, it's not a bad pick up and play kind of game. Need for Speed releases on March 15th. Number 7, Adrift. Adrift is a first-person adventure space game. The story follows an astronaut who floats through the wreckage of a destroyed space station with no memory of the incident. Throughout the game, you find clues that piece together events of the incident and attempt to repair the escape vehicle to return home. The game allows you to float in an open environment in zero gravity. The world can be fully explored, but you will be restricted from going too far. One of those restraints is an oxygen limit, which you must monitor to avoid suffocation. The game has two primary objectives: survive and return to home safely. Adrift releases on March 28th. Number 6, Trackmania Turbo. The latest in the long-running Trackmania series, Trackmania Turbo follows in suit with previous games. Trackmania is a very fast-paced racing game with a focus on stunts. The game includes over 200 different tracks across 4 different locations. Outside of the campaign mode, Trackmania Turbo has a double-driver multiplayer mode where 2 players control the same car. There's a track editor that allows players to create and share their own tracks. There's also a new feature known as Systemic Music, which ties the soundscape to the gameplay, which dynamically intensifies, heightens, or lessens music to fit with the gameplay. Trackmania Turbo releases March 22nd. Number 5, Hitman. Hitman is the latest in the long-running series by Square Enix. Their last game, Hitman Absolution, followed a more linear approach, but with this game, they're looking to go back to a more open level design. Each level in Hitman is its own mini sandbox that can be explored and has their own various missions and objectives. Not only that, each of those mini sandboxes have hundreds upon hundreds of NPCs that all react to you differently. The only real cause for concern with Hitman is its release pattern. The game will be an episodic title with the intro pack costing $15, and then you'll have to pay for additional levels in the coming months. Alternatively, you can pay $60 and get all of the content as it becomes available. Hitman releases on March 11th.
Just a reactor, Mr. Bishop. It's...
Your target is down. Now head towards an exit.
Number 4, Eve Valkyrie. Eve Valkyrie is a multiplayer dogfighting shooter set in the Eve Online universe. It's being designed with virtual reality in mind. It is launching on the same day as Oculus Rift after all. Virtual reality is something that many aren't completely sold on, so Eve Valkyrie being a premier VR game definitely gives something to be excited about. The game itself is running on the Unreal Engine 4, so expect some great visuals. However, if you are looking to play this game, you're gonna need a pretty good PC. Eve Valkyrie launches side by side with Oculus Rift on March 28th. Number 3, Far Cry Primal. PC gamers unfortunately have had to wait a little bit to get their hands on the latest Far Cry game. Primal is the latest in what some would consider a somewhat stale franchise. However, that's why Far Cry Primal is here, to add some diversity to the franchise. Primal takes place in the Stone Age, so all the traditional Far Cry gunplay has been completely removed, in favor of things like spears, axes, and ranged weapons like bows. The game follows Takar, a man who rises in power and leads his own tribe. He must defend his tribe from not only the wildlife, but also other tribes. Far Cry Primal has had favorable reviews on consoles thus far, hopefully it follows suit on PC. The game releases on March 1st.
The game, the cave bear, which is very resilient, which can take a lot of punishment and give you the opportunity to go around the enemies. Summon some bees.
That's annoying.
Which is another one of the cool toys of the Beastmaster. You can dispatch enemies with the bees.
Oh, is there an enemy? Yeah, perfect.
Number 2, Black Desert Online. Black Desert Online is a highly anticipated Korean MMO. The game takes place in a high fantasy setting revolving around the conflict of two rival nations. The game features a fast-paced action-based combat system. Possibly the most exciting thing about the game is the ridiculously in-depth character customization system. You can alter just about anything and make your character look exactly like how you want them to. The game also has some of the best visuals you will ever see in an MMO, with an extreme amount of detail put into every little bit of the game. Black Desert finally releases in the States on March 3rd. Number 1, Tom Clancy's The Division. The Division has been one of the most anticipated games for the last 3 years. The game was announced back at Ubisoft's E3 conference in 2013, and initially a PC version wasn't even on the books. However, after the high demand, Ubisoft announced that The Division would in fact be coming to PC. Then the game was delayed, then we got an obvious visual downgrade, so it hasn't been the smoothest road to release for the game. However, with the recent beta, it seems as many of us still have very high hopes for the game. Hopefully, the final product ends up delivering when The Division is released on March 8th. That wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PC games in March 2016. What do you think? What games are you the most excited for in March? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.